Recently, I saw a very interesting video right here on YouTube about Adobe, and it has inspired me to make a video that I've been thinking about now for quite a while. Now, this video is sure to ruffle some feathers, and I'm sure that Adobe lovers will probably lose their minds. So if you're an Adobe fanboy, you might want to turn it off right here if
you can't handle the truth.
Adobe used to be the king of the streets, a company that has always claimed to empower creatives, but has been increasingly in the news for practices that suggest otherwise. Now, there are a lot of YouTube channels that have made their living on Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop tutorials and videos. I can only imagine how scary the past 5 or so years have been for them, trying to quietly fly under the radar of Adobe's nightmare business practices. But I haven't seen a single one of these channels come out and face it head on. We are talking about Adobe hiding fees from their Lightroom, Photoshop, and other creative subscribers. We're talking about subscription traps, terms of service changes that angered creatives around the world, and its near monopoly moves in the software industry that wound up costing them $1 billion. Now, this video isn't clickbait. This is what has actually happened, with sources you can check for yourself.
But you're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark.
Hey, I'm Jeff, and I'm a wildlife photographer living in Charleston, South Carolina. We're a philosophy-driven channel around awareness and ethics, creative depth, and evolving our identities as photographers. Topics that will grow your photography skills more than any new camera or any other piece of equipment. Today, we are going to take a look at Adobe. And while I realize many of you use Adobe and won't like what you hear in this video, it doesn't change the facts. Before we jump in though, I do want to be clear about a few things. I'm sure at least a few people will want to lash out because they will take this video personally. But this isn't personal at all. It's factual. It's factual information that is good to know and understand if you're an Adobe user or not. And it's part of the reason why I left Adobe. And as I always like to say with any video, there's always room for respectful conversations on this channel. But one thing I don't tolerate is rude behavior. So please keep in mind that any type of comment that is very rude or disrespectful will be deleted. And depending on the severity of the comment, the person making it might even be blocked from the channel. That is one thing I monitor very closely because there is just way too much negativity in the world, and it's something that I don't want on this channel. So with all that being said, let's just jump in and get to today's video. Long ago, Adobe moved from selling a perpetual license, a one-time purchase, to selling only subscriptions through the Adobe Creative Cloud. Now, I know I've talked in previous videos about liking the fact as a DxO user that it's a perpetual license and that this model saves you money. Now, this always gets pushback arguing it costs just as much, if not more, than Adobe subscription services. Now, quite honestly, I don't argue the point because people don't like to believe they are spending more money than they should, or believing that maybe they're being taken advantage of somehow. But it has been proven in various studies that these subscription-based services, these subscription-based models, always cost more than a perpetual license. It's just the way it is. These are the facts, and that's why Adobe switched to this model. The subscription model gives monthly revenue, predictable customer income, but it also opens doors to some controversial practices. In June of 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice and the Federal Trade Commission filed a complaint against Adobe, alleging for the following: that it buried key information about early termination fees in the fine print and hard to find text, especially on the annual paid monthly plans. They also said that it led customers into long-term contracts without making these cancellation terms clear up front. They made cancellation difficult, requiring multiple page navigations, dropped customer support calls, and extra hurdles before a subscription would be fully canceled. This is courtesy of Mac Rumors. The complaint alleges that these practices violated the Restore Online Shoppers Confidence Act, a federal consumer protection law, courtesy of investing.com. Now, this is the same company whose flagship products, Lightroom and Photoshop, are used by millions of photographers worldwide. But increasingly, instead of empowering customers, critics argue that Adobe's business model has become more about locking their users in. Another major flashpoint with Adobe's terms of service update in 2024 that caused widespread concern, Adobe had pushed out a new terms pop-up that many interpreted as granting Adobe some broad rights to access, copy, analyze, and even use customer content for basically building and helping Adobe create their AI training. Now, the language was pretty vague about accessing content through automated and manual methods. Now, this is courtesy of trustlab.com. But what happened ultimately is this led to massive backlash on social media, forums like Reddit, and creative communities online. Thousands of users expressed fear that Adobe could legally mine their work to build generative AI systems. Ultimately, Adobe was forced to clarify the language and publicly state that it was not to train their Firefly generative AI models on customer work, and that users own their content and Adobe won't claim ownership of it. This is courtesy of 9to5Mac. While the clarification was significant, the fact that the original wording triggered global outrage just goes to show the level of mistrust between Adobe and its user base. At the time of filming this video, I actually went and checked the Adobe Firefly site to see if they had changed their marketing. Because a few years ago, Adobe was marketing their Firefly AI site by saying, don't hire a professional photographer, use Firefly for all of your photographic projects. What a slap in the face to the creatives that have been supporting Adobe and paying them millions of dollars over the years. What else could be a bigger slap in the face, but it's just another demonstration of how Adobe doesn't support or value their customers. Coincidentally, this is worth mentioning, many of the users who actually went through and canceled their Adobe subscriptions, those photographers that stored photos in the cloud for Adobe, many reported that their photos suddenly disappeared. Isn't that odd? Adobe's dominance in the creative software space is enormous. At one point in 2022, Adobe announced a plan to acquire a very popular design platform called Figma for approximately $20 billion. Now, this deal would have combined Adobe's Creative Cloud with one of the fastest growing design tools in the world. This is courtesy of Adobe Newsroom. Now, what's kind of interesting here is that a company, Figma, came out with a piece of software that was better than what Adobe had. Now, rather than Adobe creating their own product or improving upon one of their existing products, their answer was just to simply buy the competition, right? Makes sense, I guess, in some sort of way. But regulators in US, Europe, and the UK pushed back really hard, raising concerns that the acquisition would reduce competition and give Adobe too much control over the creative software markets. Eventually, Adobe and Figma had to abandon the deal, and Adobe had to pay $1 billion in termination fees. That's courtesy of AP News. Regulators have pointed out that Adobe's market power, and they question whether letting such a dominant company swallow up key competitors is healthy for innovation. Today, Adobe still controls the tools that most creators feel that they must use, which critics say gives the company really an unfair leverage over customer pricing, terms, and even editing workflows. For those who support Adobe, you might be thinking that was unfair to make Adobe abandon the acquisition of Figma, and you may not see the harm in Adobe maybe trying to acquire a product that would add value to their products. Maybe you think that's a little unfair, but you shouldn't want Adobe controlling the creative space. You should want competition. It's the competition that's going to keep them at least somewhat honest, and it's going to keep prices from becoming ridiculously out of control. There are a ton of really great and viable options on the market now, and many that can replace Adobe. Any creative that believes that they have to be using Adobe is fearing the change of learning something new more than anything else. But that is temporary. For those creatives staying out of fear, you are doing exactly what Adobe wants you to do. So how does this affect photographers specifically? Well, number one, invisible costs. A lot of photographers often start with Lightroom because it's familiar, but they don't really understand how the pricing structure for Adobe works. So at the current time, if you want to subscribe to Lightroom only, you get 1 terabyte of storage and 250 generative credits. It's $11.99 per month. If you want to add Photoshop to Lightroom, you get 1 terabyte of storage, 1,000 generative credits, and $19 per month. If you want to go with the Creative Cloud Pro, you get 20 creative apps, 100 gigabits of storage, 4,000 generative credits, $70 a month. Now, if you cancel early, you will be dinged with up to 50% of the remaining subscription balance. That's courtesy of Greenberg Drawing. Now, that's money out of your pocket for a service you don't even want. Number two is cloud privacy and AI training fears. Even though Adobe clarified its AI training policy, the ambiguity in its initial terms created deep fears that your images could be accessed by Adobe for purposes you didn't expect. You might inadvertently lose control over your creative output. For photographers, especially those doing client work or sensitive content, that is a legitimate concern. And given Adobe's history, quite honestly, I don't believe for a second they aren't stealing and using the work of their users to build their AI models. Number three, customer service nightmares. There are countless reports from longtime users of tangled customer support experiences, being bounced between representatives, trapped in subscriptions longer than intended, and facing credit card charges even after believing they had canceled. As someone who used to be an Adobe user myself, when I canceled my subscription, I literally experienced every single one of these points I just outlined. I was on the phone with Adobe for over 45 minutes, and I was transferred between different reps multiple times. At least 10 times, they offered me discounted subscription fees for a period of time, trying to get me to stay. And then they charged me an early cancellation fee. Amazing. Now, I didn't lose any photos in the cloud because I never trusted them enough to use the cloud service in the first place. I guess my gut instinct on that one was right. Be very careful with these early termination fees and all these sneaky little terms of service. Adobe is a big and powerful company. It's profitable, but they, for the past several years, have continued to lose money because they continue to lose customer confidence. And in turn, they're losing customers. But being big and powerful doesn't always align with your customers' interests. There was a legal complaint alleging customer deception filed against Adobe for their terms of service language that triggered fear over how your content could be used to a near monopoly acquisition that regulators blocked. The story isn't just about software. It's about trust. If you're a photographer using Adobe or considering Adobe, you better ask yourself a few simple questions. Am I supporting a company that cares about its users and is transparent? Do I feel confident that my creative work is fully under my control? Should I invest in alternatives that respect my data, pricing, and freedom? Am I really okay supporting a company that conducts themselves so dishonestly? Facts are facts. I've personally experienced Adobe's unethical practices, and there have been thousands of other photographers reporting the same experiences. If you're going to invest your time, money, and passion into your craft, you should have the tools in a company that serve you, not trap you. If you're looking for a new photo editor, then I would urge you to check out my favorite software. That's DxO Photolab 9. Photolab is the editing software that I trust for all of my editing needs. With its industry-leading noise reduction, and with the release of Photolab 9, its new AI masking tools, this is going to help you streamline your editing workflow to make you more efficient, consistent, and give you those professional-looking images. Use the link in the show notes below to head on over and check it out for yourself. If you decide you want to purchase it, just be sure to use my discount code at the time of checkout. Enter Magnolia, and it will save you 15% off of your purchase. If you're not quite ready to make a purchase, download their 30-day risk-free trial. Hey, you can try out the entire software risk-free for 30 days. See what you think. Try it out for yourself. And if you're worried about learning DxO Photolab 9, well, don't. Head on over to magnoliaphotographysc.com/store where you can check out my DxO Photolab 9 Masterclass. I teach you everything about the tools, how to use them, and I even show you my exact editing process. This will give you a great starting point for creating your own signature editing process. Hey, thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate you taking some time out of your busy day and spending it with me. But before you leave, you might want to check out this next video right here.